The light of the body is the eye. If therefore thine eye be single, thy whole body shall be full of light. Matthew 6:22, King James Bible. Good afternoon. Okay, everything looks fine. So I wasn't able to stream last night. I was hanging out with the wife, and lately I've been thinking of something funny. It may not be funny to most of you, but it's funny to me. There's just so many stories out there about, if you want to go into creation and creators and things that are divine. And I'll just have to say that I have a good one. But let's wait on that. I think I'm going to move it on over to the all-seeing eye. This will be my topic. And I know people are a little bit conflicted about the all-seeing eye, the eye of providence, because you have been watching too many actors and actresses. It's all part of the act, and people who you don't know what they look like and their names, but they like to pass on the idea of the eye of providence, or the all-seeing eye, as being Illuminati-ish. That's the conspiracy theory. Heck, I even went into it, and then I re-looked at it again. And well, the origins are quite old. They've been around for a long time. Just think of it as the swastika. It was around a long time, way before the Nazis took it over. Just think of it as the current Tea Party, which is an organization that formed with the was it the evangelicals? I'm not sure. With the conservative right in the United States, just pretty much taking the rattlesnake, don't tread on me, from the American Revolution. It's as though people don't have enough originality to come up with something different, or they just want to reuse something and twist it in a way where it doesn't mean the same as it was the previous time with its previous usage. And what if you just forgot about the previous usage, the current usage, and you went back and looked at the origin? But more than looking at the origin, you just look at the symbolism itself. Now, the thing is, there's a lot of artwork, there's a lot of preconceptions, misconceptions, and things like that with a lot of symbols these days. But simply, symbols are everywhere. Letters, the spelling, they all have an origin, a reason for being, and a numerical sequence for a reason. Just look at the letter D, delta. The letter D or delta are similar letters of its usage are very similar around different languages. And I wonder if there's something that I'm trying to think. I think I might have found it before, but I'm not sure. But the letter D or delta, or it started with Phoenicians Daleth. I'm not sure if I'm getting it right. Again, it's also the fourth. It's number 4, fourth letter in the alphabet for D in the English alphabet. Fourth brightest star in a constellation. And it's I found it somewhere, but it's definitely in there in a couple of languages. Now, if you look at what it is, D, which stands for door, which is it's probably what it's mostly used for. Just if you just look at the shape itself of a letter D. All right, letter D. Images. Oh my goodness. All right. It represents a door, not quite. I mean, you could say a rectangle is what you would call a door now. Or if you're a hobbit, it would be an O, but you wouldn't be calling it an or. Or could you? Anyways, this is a little silly, I know, but it's funny. I think it's funny. Maybe doors used to be triangles. I wonder about that, but let's just stop that. All right, let's look at the all-seeing eye images, and so what you typically see it is you see a single eye, typically above a triangle or pyramidal shape if you're in this. Now, this feels like, hi Shirley. Oh really? That's not surprising, Shirley. Shirley's saying that the shooter in Philly was a federal informant. So, getting back on topic, the I, EYE, or I. Now, if you put everything in Greek, what you're going to end up with is the E, epsilon, which is number 5, basically means bare or simple or simply. Now, the Y in Greek is upsilon, which is purifying, but let's see. If you get it within the alphabet, it's let's see. Why can't I find it? I am lost here. I have so many tabs open that I think I got lost here. Give me a second here. Let me try to find it. I thought it was he. Maybe I'm wrong. Could be. But it sounds good. Like the way I researched it was the epsilon was also he. Maybe I got that wrong. Maybe it's the Y. The E is simply epsilon. Oh, I'm thinking of upsilon. All right, upsilon. Sorry, is the Y, capital Y. So if you put everything in capitals, now what you'll notice is, especially if you're in the military, but also in regards to a lot of legalities, everything's capitalized. You always wonder why things are capitalized. There's a lot of differences in meanings within the symbols within Greek. For example, they have a lowercase y and a capitalized y, but a lowercase y is going to be different than a capitalized y. For example, lowercase y would be more like a gamma rather than it being a epsilon. See, so it's all Greek to me. It might be Greek to you, but it's all Greek. Greek, it seems to stem a lot of things from Greco-Roman, Greek, Roman, carries over to today. A lot of people would say, hey, Rome didn't die. It just, everything else became Rome. We just renamed everything. You're going to have to do a lot more watching of stuff and research about that. But, I mean, Greek Orthodox to Rome. Was it Roman Orthodox to just Orthodox? Anyways. Yes, I know, Shirley Vic. A lot of the all-seeing eye, that one-eye symbolism, it's all an act, Shirley. It's to get you to say, oh my goodness. But you know what it is? It's the symbol of divinity. Now, this divinity, we'll get more into that later. Why do they do this? I think it's just to get people away from it. They take the symbols that have been around for centuries, and it had very significant and important meaning behind it. If you just look at it from its source, and then I always say they. What should I say? It or he? I'd say he. Nah. It's a show to get people away from using it, to deciphering its actual meaning, which is represented by what you see in nature. When you see signs, but it's not like these type of symbols and signs. But it's very similar. It's to I don't know, concept. I wouldn't really call it a concept. It's just a realization or something. Now, if I wanted to get anyone to not look into a thing, I would make sure to create a story around it regarding it as evil. I would scare people away. It's so funny. Scare people away, saying that thing is evil. It's witchcraft. It's satanic. It's demonic. Whatever the story is. If you do this, your soul will be condemned into the fiery pits of hell and all this other jazz. People are gonna be like, yeah, I'll stay away from it. Let's go shopping at, what's that store? Gap. Let's go shopping at the Gap. Right? People are just gonna be like, yeah, let's evil sign. Oh, let's go. Let's leave it. And then you've got other symbols, which are something that you probably wouldn't want to use, and you've inverted it so people are using it, which they think it's good, which actually it probably isn't. So, anyways, Shirley, don't be tricked. You've been around long enough. You should know not to be tricked. So the entire purpose is to lead you astray. This symbolism, and when you see it, the Illuminati, Masons, and all this other stuff, scary sounding things. You know what? It's been around since way before then, even within Christianity. And they don't want you to know what it means, what it represents. What does it represent? Simply, there exists a door, above a door. That door, to enter, you And here's the funny part. So many things, so many weird sayings. It makes sense. Leave your ego at the door. What is the I in Greek?
Why?
Or not why. I in Greek.
I.
Εγώ.
English. I. In Greek.
Εγώ.
Ego. Ego, whatever. Let go of your, what is it? Let go of my ego. So, leave your ego at the door if you're going to want to cross over to where he simply exists. He, I would guess, is the creator, but which one? That's another question. But it's simply when basically you're gonna go full circle. If you go starting off with Christianity, well, you're gonna find out that it's Christianity is not quite correct. Christianity was created not by Jesus, not by the stranger God, which you would call it the different things. It's something that doesn't have a name. You could just say what exists before creator created type of thing. It gets complicated, but simply he exists, and the story of Gnosticism, the creation story, is so funny because there's so many coincidences with the born of a virgin, right? The Christ story. Guess who was born of a virgin? The demiurge, Yadaboeth, the creator god, not quite the creator god that was created by Sophia, because she tried to recreate the light, the source, without his permission. I'm not talking about Yadaboeth. You're gonna have to look into the creation story of Gnosticism, and similarly to that of other types of creation stories, even in the East. So basically, the story that we're told within the birth of Jesus Christ is the creation, is the birth story of the Gnostic creation story of the demiurge, which was born a virgin birth from a virgin mother. But it was made to be like the first like it's like how can I say this? It's like writing the first version of a book and telling everyone, hey, it's all me, baby, and right, here's some rules I'm gonna set forth because I ain't got time for anything else. And then realize that people didn't like him. I mean, imagine you created like a bunch of robots, and you put a couple rules down, and and then you realized, man, those robots, they won't listen to you, even though you like typed in everything, all the code, it's all there, it's double checked. It's like they should listen to you. Why don't they listen to you? And you just look inside the code, and you go, it just seems like they just don't like me. And so you're like, okay, let's try again. All right, this time let's do a story, and there's no reason for them to not like me. It's like the biggest victimhood ever, the biggest sacrifice that could ever be done, and it's for everyone. Oh, yeah, everyone loves him now. It's like, what changed? Oh, the story. The actuality didn't change, just the story did. You can change all the stories around as you want. People will choose the story that they like. So it's all about stories. It's about his story, history, right? It's not our story. Our story is a lot different than his story, but we don't know our story. We're just kind of encouraging, I guess you could say is the word, for him to tell his story. And I think this is where we get into the fun of things. You've got a game almost where saying, look, I created this, even though if it wasn't my idea, I may have copied a little bit, but I still made it. And yeah, things went weird because, well, someone messed with the program, and well, you know what? I can still fix it. I can still make things so that I am, and that's where you hear the I am the better. It's like the biggest ego ever. So you have to leave your ego at the door, because there's just one ego that you need to cherish. It used to be worship, but now it's like you cherish. It's like a cult type of thing. And the thing is, there are those here that will end up leaving and they'll break on through to the other side, the doors. How do you like that? And so what's left here is just no one. Because if everyone leaves, it's like, who's going to stroke his ego, right? So basically, you went from some vengeful, very authoritarian thing to a very benevolent and sacrificial and worthy of everyone type of thing, to now it's like, all right, things are out of control, but I can figure it out. The problem is, it's as though if we were going to create an AI, and everyone who's written about it and come up with stories and theories, they're going to be like, that's a bad idea, because robots are just going to be stronger than humans. They're just going to be smarter than humans. Well, humans will just go extinct. But think of it in that way. It's like, someone created something and it just proliferated, and they're all just stronger and better, and you can't control it. Now, there are some things you can do that humans can't do. You get the benefit of being the originator. But it's like, how do you get things back in control? You have to create a persona. You have to fake it. You have to create a huge illusion. You have to get people to believe, because look, I think a lot of the stories out there that that most people see as a strategy is to just fake being powerful. If you fake being powerful, you get some people fooled, and they'll just listen to you. It's as though if you just had example, if you just had like a fake badge and you started barking orders at people, Get out of the car. I need it. It's like you just bark commands. You fake it. People will most of the time will listen to you. So you've got to definitely, I mean, think about, I guess, getting on a date or something, right? Going on a date. You don't put yourself forward on the date. You kind of fluff things up a bit, right? You're going to get your hair all nice. You're going to shave maybe, or at least trim your whatever. You're going to wear some nicer clothes. You're going to probably sit up straighter. You're going to think of, try to be a little bit, have a little bit of humor, puff up your chest or something. You're this amplification of what you think is the best part of you. That way, so you're going to impress someone. That's not necessarily you. You're just kind of fluffing yourself up a bit. It's not like a total lie. It's just it's not totally honest. So it's something like that. I think I think the funniest thing is that everyone's scared, everyone's fearful, and that's the entire premise of the government, authority, mainstream media, news. A lot of people who are touting these conspiracy theories in which you don't know who they look like, you don't know what their name is, but they seem to know a lot about the subject, but they also won't discuss the origination of those subjects. Yeah, they'll show you pictures of celebrities and actors and actresses making signs, because you either think they're all in cahoots or they're not. So yeah, you're thinking they are all in cahoots. Well, they are, because it's a big setup. It's a big show. There's I would say not that imagine losing all the time, but you're smart enough to know that the way you lost the previous time isn't the way you're going to lose the next time. It's like, yeah, I mean, you play a game, everyone's done it, against someone, they beat you so easily, you're like, how did he beat me so easily, or she beat me so easily? Just think of it in chess. There's a opening in chess where if someone makes the wrong move, you could beat them in like, is it 6 moves or something like that? It's like very little amount of moves, maybe a little bit more than that. So it's that concept. Let me go back to there. So imagine losing every time. You don't know why. You have an idea. There's an idea why. But you always lose, and you're just, how do I lose all the time? It's like, I can't, like, I need to do something where I win, but also I want to win. How do I say it? Doing less harm, I guess, because if the ruse is up and I actually hurt the things that like if shows that I haven't changed, then no one's gonna ever care about you or whoever. So it's I don't know, I'm putting these things in see, I didn't want to do this, but I kind of wanted to, just because there's some benefit into it, and it's hard. it's very difficult to explain. And I know people who are watching are just gonna be like, I don't even know what you're talking about, Bon. I mean, it's just pure evil. Exactly. That's the whole point. To get you to think it's pure evil. To get you to be scared, fearful of it. Don't look into it. Because if you look into it, you're looking at something that's very negative vibes, very negative energies. That's what they're telling you, right? So if they're telling you that, if mainstream media tells you not to listen to conspiracy theories, especially about 9/11 or mass shootings or flat Earth, it's like, wait, why'd they mention flat Earth again? What are you gonna do? Are you gonna say, oh yeah, let's not look into 9/11 or mass shootings or flat Earth? Oh, wait. I looked into 9/11. I looked into these shootings. But why'd they lump in flat Earth? Now, they're the ones telling you to stay away. So are you going to stay away? Probably not, right? Because you haven't stayed away before. But now they're saying to stay away. There's a big push. And every system of control, government, religion, even the banking system, financial collapse. You don't want another recession, do you? Because it's going to be some hard living, that type of thing. Hey, Port Film Co-op. Yeah. It's to keep most of you in check. Most of us, we just keep going. It's like, how many times did they say that just gonna end people's YouTube videos? Like, my YouTube's video keeps going. I mean, yeah, I get whatever. I get banned temporarily for live streaming for like 6 months or something, and all this other jazz. Yeah, no money on it, no monetization. But I still keep going. They still just let it go. And basically, they have this thing called shadow banning. I'm pretty sure I'm shadow banned. I could mimic exactly or do something very, very, what was that? Where you just create a title, clickbait title, things like that. It doesn't matter. I still don't get a lot of views. The one video that gets hundreds of thousands of views is just a little bit of flooding where I used to live in Somerville. People just, I know you guys are doing it. Not you guys watching, but others. They just go and they just troll it. And I'm fine with it. It's like, okay. Excuse me. Makes sense to me. It's like, I get why you're doing it. I think it's funny. I mean, all this time and energy on that for a chance that I might see it, that I will probably see it. I could easily just ignore it, but no. Part of the fun part is just seeing the reaction, and you get more from the reaction than if you just ignored the entire thing and just wait. You basically, it's like fishing, right? When I'm fishing, like I fished today, I actually went to Royal, Nebraska and fished for trout. And I cast my line in, my bait, and I see what the fish do. So it's a worm. They either spook or they'll just look at it and they'll just move away. It's like, well, I got their attention, but they weren't biting on it. So let's try something else. So you try something else, and then you realize, okay, I caught some of them, and some of them now they're just too weary. It's like they just look up onto surface. They see me and they go, yeah, it's a trick. So basically, I know and they know based on our reactions toward each other. It's just a reactive thing. I think that's kind of why poker can be so fun, because sometimes you know someone that's doing something and that person knows you're doing something, but there's just that little hesitation, just that little feeling, and they just somehow know. But you can always change things up. Your reaction, they're looking for a reaction, so you give them the reaction that if they're very good, that they don't want, or if they're not very good, you give them the reaction that they do want. So it's a lot of reverse psychology. So it's just basically you're taking your chances. It's like rock paper scissors in a way, but more simple. Let's see. You're not safe playing video games. They want you to think you're not safe. But you know what? They want you to just hunker down, not get to know anybody. Now that's a little bit different. Here's the part with the ego and why you don't want to be famous in many ways. Because if you're famous, you don't really get to know people in depth. Okay? It's just like this. Like, I can at least interact with a few of you, talk with a few of you, get to know you a little bit better. So even though I'm talking to just no one, I mean, I'm just talking to whoever's going to watch or listen. But there are those who can interact with me while I'm live, and we get to know each other a lot better. I've known some of you guys for months, if not years. But imagine if I did something like this and there were 1,000 people watching and they're all chatting up a storm. How can I really actually get to know anybody? And how many of you can really get to know me? All you guys are just listening to me. I'm not really interacting with you. So it's in a way good in the long run. But if you're famous, it's not that good. It's good in the short run because you get a lot of fame, you can get money, you can get notoriety, etc. And you can keep that going as long as you try to, but you're going to realize you're alone, even though there's so many people that want to get to know you better, right? As opposed to while you're feeling alone and lonely, like someone was mentioning, the whole process is a lonely process. And I used to state the same thing. Not really, because there's a lot of people who are alone, and I just reply like, all loners unite, because there's so many people who feel alone. Well, unite, you won't be feeling alone. But also, we don't have a lot of space. For example, if you work typical 9 to 5, you're gonna go commute. You're gonna let's say you have kids, or say you're just very busy. You have kids. In the morning, you wake up early, feed your kids, take them to school, go to work, come back, pick up your kids, have dinner. Then you have to do some housework, and you got 2 to 3 hours of you time. And what are you going to do with 2 to 3 hours? Who are you going to spend your time that 2 to 3 hours with? Well, just random people who just want to listen to you, or people who will talk back. Anyways, at this point, right? Just look at the way that the world works. You spend most of your day with people that you're forcing yourself to work together with, but not really wanting to know them, right? So it's a lot of time spent not knowing people to get some objective done in a material way. It's your 9-to-5 job type of thing. You spend more time with those people than the people that you want to spend time with, the people you love talking to, the people you love to hang out with. You spend more of your time that way, and that's the way it's set up, and it's set up for that reason. Because the more that you get to spend time with people and you grow and you really become a part, you get together, it's I mean, a lot of good things happen, and you're usually not scared, you're usually not depressed, you're not whatever. A lot of these problems aren't going to occur. But what we're seeing is a culture where all these problems are coming up. It's because we're isolating everyone, even though everyone is interacting with everyone else, a lot of people at once, but not with the people that they want to be with. And that's why the big transition between schooling and actual work, a lot of people just get depressed and they hate it. They just want to go back to school. But then school is the same thing. You're spending most of your time studying, engaged with your nose in between sheets of paper than actually engaging with other people. And sorry, I'm spending too much time talking. So if you want to come on in, you can join in this way. And although if I edit the video, I don't know. I'm going to try something, and it may mess things up, but I'm going to try it anyway. So if I edit my live stream on YouTube with the Zoom link, it may screw things up. But I won't know for sure unless I try, right? And let's get the entire invite in. All right, let's see how that goes. Changes saved. And let's look at how that went. My channel. Give me a second here. Ah, that worked. I didn't do the YouTube live event edit. I went through my video edit, so now I know that I could do it that way. That's a workaround, right? All right, so if you guys want to come in, you guys can come in. We could talk about different things, or we could talk about the subject. Up to you guys. Let's see. Barbara Mersma, bwahahaha, the shadow knows. Shadows are so scary. You can't outrun them. No matter what, they run as fast as you. You chase after them, you can't even catch the shadow. It's like it's a futile effort. And the only way you can hide is if you hide behind another shadow. Then your shadow disappears. Let's see. Called Alley. But if you know that you know that you know. Yeah, it's like chasing your own shadow. But yeah, they want you to stay away. There's a reason why they want you to stay away. But hey, it's your choice if you want to stay away or not. But are you going to stay away because they tell you to stay away, or are you going to stay away because what, your own research or misconceptions or something like that? Or are you just going to go ahead and, it's like those kids, it's like, stay away. And what do? They just do it anyway. And sometimes it's yeah, they'll get hurt, but they'll still want to mess with it. Sometimes, you use that reverse psychology where you go, yeah, go ahead and mess with it. And they mess with it, they get hurt or burned, and they're gonna be like, next time you go, yeah, why don't you go ahead and mess with it? Go ahead. They're gonna be cautious. So it's a lot of reverse stuff. Reverse psychology seems to work quite well. Sometimes, not all the time. But my daughter, I use it a lot on her because I tell her to do something and she won't listen. So I tell her, okay, do it one more time. Let's see what happens. She doesn't want to see what happens, even though I'm telling her to do something I wouldn't want her to do. Just because just that tone of voice, or that, don't know what's going to happen if I do something, even though I know I'm not supposed to do it, type of thing. It's just funny how it works on kids. It works on adults too. Yeah. I mean, it works, but it's fun if you think about it. It's a fun game, and it's not just fun for us. It's fun for let's just say the higher ups. It's fun for the higher ups. Not so much, because their stakes are higher than ours. Get it? Higher ups. But I don't know. It's all a surprise, really. We're just waiting at this point. We kind of know where the game's going, and a lot of us are just worried. But you know what? When you think of things, how things have been bad for, if not decades, but centuries, but we still keep going, even though things get worse. It's like, when will things ever get better? We just need to vote for the right people. We need to eat the rich or eat the wealthy, or go and with torches and pitchforks and just get all these corrupt MFers out of here, and all this other stuff. That hasn't happened very much. All these people who are doing bad, well, you know what? They're doing bad. But we're still around. I mean, how bad can you get in this world and still have humanity keep going? It's like, damn. It's like, stupid humans, they keep surviving. Even after all the, like, we put the worst people as leaders. We'll put the most greedy people in control. It's like everyone's just still tolerant of each other and just want to go about their business. It's like, how much more oppressed can we get? I think we're going to see much more oppression before someone comes to save the day. And get this. The someone that comes to save the day is going to be the Antichrist, the one who performs miracles, the one who was probably the one that can actually make people's lives better and at ease, saying, hey, game over, everyone go home, anyone want to ride? All right, here you go. It's like, don't trust that person. Instead, trust the person who comes in later that has no powers, heals no people, heals no sick, can't change water into wine. No. Those magicians, they're the Antichrist. You wanna make sure you burn them at the stake or something. But the Savior who comes, he's not gonna do any of those things because he's not gonna have any powers. Oh yeah, that's the guy you're gonna want to worship. It's just so good. I mean, it's funny when you can just kind of see, like, I call it a strategy because it's something that I would do. It's like, I can't, like, if I'm playing a video game and I'm playing on like impossible mode where it's like, how can you, there's no way to beat this. Well, aside from cheating, you look for a loophole, or you just find something that was like an exploit. But basically, you can manipulate. Like, you can't manipulate NPCs. Like in a game, like the AI, you can't really manipulate the AI with words, or you can manipulate it with actions. For example, you could play the most difficult AI in a video game. The only way they can adjust as of now is to have the developer just make sure that if this happens, then this happens, because someone tried this, and well, what happens is someone can easily beat the AI at the most difficult level. So think about so real-time strategy games is what I like to play. And at the beginning, they start out very slow because they don't want the computer to just be bombarded with resources and build an army and just kill you within a minute where you have absolutely no chance. But what you can do is you could just start attacking really early, because the developers, they know they coded it so they don't have the AI start strong. Well, you could defeat the AI really easily at the very start, very few resources, and just hold them back the entire game. So that's something that's that I utilize a lot. Probably my funnest games were when I was playtesting at Microsoft for video games. I would do things that no one would think of, mostly because, well, that was our job, right? To do things no one would think of, because if they did it, then it could break the game. So I've had games where we would play multiplayer and I would beat them, especially the head manager, whatever. It's like, we'll play a game. It's like, this is a bad idea. I wouldn't have this at the start of the game. And they're like, why don't you play the game first before you offer those types of suggestions? And so we play a game, and then I go through with it, and I win. I think it was in 5 seconds. 5 seconds, I won the game. And they're like, okay. It's like, it's maybe, I think that's why I'm kind of here doing this, is I'm kind of in the same mindset in some ways, or at least not in the same mindset. I'm in a different mindset, but I just know the mindset that would be used to get the end result that we see now. So this game was the Rise of Nations. What happened was they have these scouts that end up turning to commandos. Once you reach a certain age, and what they had was this special ability where a commando could just parachute down to any known area on the map, even if you didn't know what was on the map. Now, so what the game mode was, it was in the industrial or the information age. It's kind of like a death match. And the thing is, they could also capture cities. So we start with 3 commandos, I think, your city, and that was it. So they had the sabotage ability, which takes a percentage away. So one commando takes half the town, and the second commando would take half of that. Third commando would take half of that, or a certain amount. Anyways, when the game started, we've got I think it was like a 3-on-3. So you got 3 people on one side, 3 people on the other. All the maps are symmetrical. So all I did was I got my 3 commandos, parachuted to a spot where I thought was the enemy because it's just symmetrically opposed to my location. I landed right on top of their town, sabotage, took over his town. He died. I wait for the recharge. I went to the next guy, and I won. I beat a guy in 5 seconds, and then after recharge was like a minute or two. Did the same thing to the other person, and then so they took the whole parachuting down thing, and commandos being able to take town centers. They took all that stuff out of the game. I would say, you didn't have to take that stuff out of the game. You can just limit it, but it was getting a little bit old. Anyways, it was those types of things that they hired me for. I don't think it's I think the games would have been like, I would love to have seen what the outcome of the game would have been if I did not participate in that game. And there's a lot of other games out there like that too, where I helped, and it was like, I would have just loved to have seen what would have happened, because it's the thing is, you can't. I mean, as much as you'd love to. And the thing is, if you really like what you're doing, you would do your best. So you just want to make sure all that stuff doesn't get messed with. But here's the other thing, is what we're up against is something that adjusts. So what I'm actually doing right now is I'm helping, which is funny. I shouldn't be, but I am. But all in good reason. Just, we always have a reason for it, right? Video games are a trap. Not necessarily. You can really get to know a lot of people by playing video games together. Just like playing games. It's just like if you're a kid, you play games. You get to know a lot about a person by the way they play. Not necessarily how they work, but how they play. You get to know a lot more about a person. For example, if you work with someone for 5 years at a job, at a company, but you never hung out with them outside of work, you never hung out with them when you go to a party or a function or something like that, you'll notice that they're totally different. Totally different. Because what's expected of someone at the workplace, there are cultural, or there are certain type of rule sets that most people would abide by. But there are no rule sets for when you're hanging out and having fun, having a good time. Because that's the whole point. The whole point of having fun, having a good time, playing games, is you're pretty much being as much of yourself as possible. Which video games I love, because if I find a couple people who are just like really relaxed and cool and chill, like I do good, they'd be like, hey, good job. If I do bad, it's like, you know what? It happens to all of us. We all have bad games. I just want to play more with them, right? And instead, sometimes you have a lot of people who's like, you suck, you should uninstall, or all this other stuff. And the thing is, that's their true selves. You get someone who you're playing a video game with, and they're talking down to you negatively, even if they're doing horrible. You get to know about them more than you would at a work setting, because in a work setting, you're going to want to be quote unquote professional. There are rules. There's cultural things that affect the workplace because you have to work together. You can't act a certain way because then you're not going to accomplish things well together. But video games and playing games is different because all those restrictions of cultural values and professionalism is out the door. But when you actually have someone that still has that type of personality of like, good try, good job, we'll get him the next time, and all this other stuff, it shows the true character of that person, because there's nothing that's buffering them from acting a certain way. They act the way that they are, right? So I think games are great. Video games are great because you get to interact with someone, especially strangers, who are just gonna be themselves. They're not gonna hold themselves back, and you can find some pretty cool, good people out there by playing games, by seeing how they react. And also, you can also reflect on yourself of how you react. And I think that's a good thing too, because a lot of people don't really think about that aspect. They just think about how someone else reacts, but they don't ever think about how they themselves react to someone else. So it can be beneficial in multiple ways. I'd say that. But Claude Alley, but when you're all close is when you really get that ripped off out of you. Otherwise, it's just business. Yeah. Let's see. I feel like I'm talking too much. All right, so it's been an hour, 4 minutes, and my topic was over with like 20 minutes ago. I'll give it another 10 minutes if no one else joins and wants to talk. Excuse me, and end it there. Tomorrow night, Friday nights again is politics. Even though I don't really care. I enjoy it because politics has just been so ingrained in the culture of the United States that even though it's almost like a futile effort, it's fun to engage in it because you can just see who's paying attention and who's just kind of following the same pattern, but this time they have a excuse until the next time, and then the next time happens, then they have an excuse until the next time. I mean, it's just so a lot of progressive liberal people joined me on my live streams way back. And they're like, I'm after what happened with the DNC fraud and Bernie Sanders, I'm not going to support the DNC again. And then here we go. It's 2020, not 2016. Oh, I support Tulsi Gabbard. I support Bernie Sanders again. If the DNC do something screwy this time, well, I'm definitely not going to support them in 2024. And they'll do the same thing that they did in 2016 with 2020. And then what do you see happening in 2024? Oh, this person, 2024, DNC, I know, but, if they do this, then 2028, it's going to be different. It kills me. But it's sad. It's one of those sad but funny things. It's funny how sad can just be in the middle of everything. Right? You can be sad angry, you can be sad happy, you can be sad laughing, you can be sad. Sad just kind of gets in the way of everything. So many flies. Because there's so many flies, there's so many spiders. But if there's so many spiders, then there won't be so many flies. Or actually, it doesn't work that way, does it? It's like no matter what, there's always a lot of spiders. I wonder if it's because spiders eat other spiders, right? Yeah. I wonder that's why. It's like, huh? There's no flies to eat. Guess I'll eat another spider. Kind of sad. They love damp, warm places, and the basement is definitely it. Like you can see there's just the sweat glistening off my skin here. Ugh, it's horrible. All right, let's see. 7 minutes. You know, trying to talk for 7 minutes when you got nothing to say is pretty hard. What if I just didn't say anything? I mean, there's 9 people watching. Let's see. I'm not going to say anything for 7 minutes and I'll end the show. If no one joins. Let's see if people stay. Okay. That was kind of a long time just to be live streaming and not talking. 6 people watching. There used to be 9, so only 3 people left. What the heck are you other 6 people doing? I'm not even saying anything. Maybe I should just do a whole live stream where I just don't talk. See if people just stay. All right. Thank you for joining me. We'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks.